Good morning, brothers and sisters in America and all over the world. Welcome to our morning heart devotion. To start off our day, let us offer a bow to our heavenly parents and true parents. 천주인 참부모님께 경배. 바로. Now for our family pledge, I'd like to invite Reverend Mahan.
가정맹세 1. 처녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조 이상인 지상 천국과 천상 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 처녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 중심, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 처녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과皇族권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 처녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조 이상인 천주대 가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 처녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 처녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 처녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 처녀급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 처녀급 시대를 맞이하여 절대 신앙, 절대 사랑, 절대 복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상 천국과 천상 천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Thank you so much, Reverend Mahan. And now for our opening prayer, I'd like to invite Mrs. Keiko Nakama. If you could please unmute.
Okay, let us pray. Dear Heavenly Parents, true parents, thank you so much for this beautiful morning. And this January 7th, 2023, we come before you, gathered together at this morning devotion. That I want to open our hearts and receive your words. And I want to connect with your heart of our true parents, especially our beloved true mother's heart. We pray for her, the well-being, her good health. We are so grateful that we could share this new year with her, receiving her beautiful words of encouragement. We as a Breast Central family, that we are given another chance to move forward as your sons and daughters. We want to really unite with the vision of our true parents, especially the completion of our Chongwongun. We want to see that the holy palace which can manifest your love and your authority here on the earth. But also we as an individual, we want to create our own holy temple, that we really ask you to come inside our hearts and we become like a small temple for you to dwell and for us to really manifest your love. And also we as a Blessed Central family, as a couples, that we come together and unite so that you can also dwell in our couple, in our home. and we want to really attend to you there in fulfilling our portion of responsibilities. So Heavenly Parents, please help us to really realize how much more that we have to accomplish in this. The words of morning devotion can really help us realize our responsibility, our value, and how much that you are really allowing us to really live this, the precious Chongyuguk age with our true mother. So please guide each one of us here. Please speak through Dr. Yong so that our mind can really open up, receive your words. Every cell of our body can be renewed in each time. So please guide us this morning. I report this in the name of Keiko Nakama, Blessed Central Family. Aju.
Keiko Nakama-san, thank you so much for your prayer and also for your translation from English to in Japanese. I really appreciate for your great effort. I think Hawaii time is like a midnight. So now easy to join and supporting this kind of God's providence. This is incredible without missing even one day. Can you imagine that? Our Keiko Nakama-san is really, really amazing. And just now you are talking about, we tomorrow going to have inauguration ceremony of Cheonwon-gung. So, we really need to have the Cheonil temple in each family first. Okay? Cheonil temple. And centering on our family. This is important. How can we create Cheonil temple in our family? Even though we have the big inauguration ceremony of Cheonwon-gung, we do not establish a Cheonil temple in our family. Does not make any sense. Thank you so much, Keiko-san. You bring out this point. I really appreciate you once again. 감사합니다, Keiko-san.
Thank you so much, Nakama-san, for that wonderful prayer to start this morning. And now, brothers and sisters, it's time for appreciation. So let's go into our breakouts and we'll see you back in a few minutes. All right, welcome back, everyone. Thank you for taking this time to share with one another. I hope you had great sharings in your breakouts. Now for our first sharing, I'd like to invite Kimie Stana. So Kimie-san, please go ahead and share your appreciation for today.
Good morning. Happy New Year, everybody. It's very grateful this starting 2023. It's all counting together 7. It's gonna be really, really good year. So that's I really wanted to like to express gratitude every day. Yeah, last year, end of last year, I was fall down to something. I slipped some stairs, so I hit my back very strongly. I thought, wow, it's so important to health, taking care of health. That I felt everything has a meaning. So what's something I have to really repent? 2022, and then so this year March I'm gonna be grandmother. So what's kind of grandmother I can be? So I have to really learn to mother, to be grateful, because our first generation how to show who two parents are. So I felt I had to really grateful and be healthy internally, externally. Thank you, Dr. Yon. Every morning, this is like that.
Yeah, thank you, Kimie-san. Please take care of your health very well. You know, if we do not take care of our health, that is unfilial piety. You know, according to Korean tradition, children die earlier than parents. This is really, really unfilial sons and daughters. Really need to take care of ourselves very well. So I am telling you, I'm giving warning. Anyone do not pass away before true mother passing away. So I cannot forgive you, okay? So do not pass away before true mother go to spiritual world. Keep strong health, including myself, everybody, okay? Thank you very much for your sharing, Kimie-san.
Thank you so much, Kimie-san, for sharing your appreciation with us this morning. And now for our next sharing, I'd like to invite Uncle Lawrence Bear, if you can share your gratitudes for today.
Okay.
Wow. Heavenly Bear, Heavenly Tiger, or Heavenly Bear? Oh, Heavenly Bear, thank you.
Thank you so much. You know, I was in a very nice meeting. I shared some message that I got on the first day from this year from God, or at least through my heart, through my journaling. I've been journaling for 6 months, and in the beginning of the year, then the message that I got was, you know, God has been waiting for all of history for this moment, certainly the last 2,000 years, and has been gathering up all the indemnity that Satan has been persecuting, and trying not to waste any of it, spending just only what he needed to keep the providence on track. So now is the time. God was waiting until there was enough owners of Channel Cook to reliably establish, Channel Cook, and now God is not waiting any longer. So this is the time, 2023. He said that he also complies with the 7 mottos of owners of Channel Cook, and he prepared over and over again. He said he ran the scenarios through his mind like trillions of times, thinking of every possible scenario. But he said now the time of preparation is over. It's a time of action, and he's not going to wait any longer. He said he's not a feeble God. He's a victorious God, and nothing can stand against the power of true love. So that was a very inspiring message that I received.
Thank you so much, Lawrence Bear. What's the reason you are getting younger and younger? I do not know. Your wife loves you so much. I don't know.
Totally. I don't deserve such a good wife. I'm very lucky.
Thank you. God bless you, Lawrence Bear.
Thank you, Uncle Lawrence Bear, for sharing your appreciation. And now, brothers and sisters, it's time for internal guidance. So please let us open our hearts and our minds and welcome Dr. Chong-Shik Yong.
안녕하세요. Good morning, my dear brothers and sisters, clergy and ambassador for peace. 안녕하십니까? Today, I'd like to talk about the True Family and I from True Mother's Anthology, Volume 2. Let's invite our Heavenly Honey.
The True Family and I. Is it possible for all of our desires to be fulfilled? A senator will want to be president of his or her country, and later an important person on the world level. He or she will want to be an important person in world affairs. Ultimately, he or she will want to achieve the highest position in the world. That is the measure of ambition of the conscience. From the beginning of history until now, people's general thinking is that the ambition of the conscience cannot be completely satisfied. However, my husband, the Reverend Samyang Moon, arrived at the conclusion that it is possible to satisfy it. Now, if we compare the human conscience with God's conscience, which would be larger? If God's conscience were larger than a human being's, what would God do with it? The conclusion is that what God wants to possess is the same as that desired by the immense ambition of each person, and that is true love. We know that God is absolute, yet do you think God is happy? Might he be lonely? Ladies and gentlemen, even if a person becomes president of the nation, if he or she lives alone without a spouse, that person cannot be happy. If we do not have an object partner of love, we cannot be happy. Does God need someone the same way? How do you feel about this? Even if God is God, he feels very lonely. The human being feels empty when he or she lacks money or knowledge or authority. However, God does not need money, knowledge, or power.
Yes. What is it that a conscious ambition is seeking? If there existed something that had the maximum value in the cosmos, the conscience would desire to possess that as well. If God's conscience were larger than a human being's, what would God do with it? The conclusion is that what God wants to possess is the same as that desired by the immense ambition of each person, and that is true love. We know that God is absolute, yet do you think God is happy? Might he be lonely? If any being did not have an object partner of love, we cannot be happy. Even if God is God, he feels very lonely. The human being feels empty when he or she lacks money or knowledge or authority. However, God does not need money, knowledge, or power. God only one. He can create everything, whatever he needs. He no need. He does not need money and knowledge and power, authority. He does not need anything. Only need one. He cannot create by himself. That is love. Love only comes from object partner. Without love, without object partner, you cannot feel love. That's why if God cannot give and take with any human being, he feels lonely. That is the reason he created his object partner of true love. God experienced loneliness because he has no love object partner. God gives love unconditionally, but at the same time, he longs to receive love and wishes to receive recognition from human being. his object partner of love. Do you think God does not need love? He needs love. Very important, you know. That's why I'm thinking that God needs something from me. What? What? Love. Not just only 1 second, not just only 24 hours. He wants to stay with me every minute, every second, forever. That is God's desire. He wants to dwell with me together. That's why, as a human being, as a sons and daughters of God, how can I live together with God forever? True happiness does not come from only giving alone, but must include both giving and receiving. True love is able to give without limit when it desires to, and is able to receive without limits whenever it desires so. Very important. Of course, true love is giving and forgetting, but at the same time, desire is also want to receive. To give infinitely and to receive infinitely is true happiness. But the important thing is to give first. If you give infinitely, you will receive infinitely. That's why, of course, God is giving and completely forget what I have given, and then He still want to give. Of course, that God is unconditional giving, unconditional sacrifice, unconditional investment. But according to universal principle, give and take action. He really invested that much, he will get it, more than giving. Definitely, that's the universal principle. That's why to give infinitely and to receive infinitely is true happiness. That's why we are talking about giving and receiving. That's why God wants to be recognized by human being. Even though God do not say that, maybe He can say, He really want to be recognized from each one of the human beings. God also want to receive love. God want to get the comfort from human being. Can you imagine? Who comfort God? Who console God so far since Adam and Eve fell? Who recognize God? Who console Him? Who comfort Him? Who understand His suffering, His tears and sweat and blood? He want to be recognized from His filial sons and daughters. The consequence of the human fall, let's study.
The consequences of the human fall. What were the consequences of the spiritual and physical fall of Adam and Eve for the entire universe, including humankind and the angels? Satan and fallen humanity. Satan is the name given to the archangel Lucifer after he fell. When the first human ancestors fell, they bound themselves in blood ties with Lucifer. They formed a four-position foundation yoked to Satan, and thus all humanity became the children of Satan. This is why Jesus said to the people, "You are of your father the devil," and called them a brood of vipers. Also in Romans 8:23, St. Paul wrote, "Not only the creation, but we ourselves who have the first fruits of the Spirit groan inwardly as we wait for adoption as sons." This indicates that no one belongs to the lineage of God. Instead, human beings are of the lineage of Satan. Adam and Eve fell while they were still immature, and they formed a four-position foundation centering on Satan. Consequently, this world has come under Satan's sovereignty. Hence, the Bible calls Satan the ruler of this world and the God of this world. Furthermore, it is written in Romans 8:19-22, the creation waits with eager longing for the revealing of the sons of God. These verses describe the agony of the creation as it longs for the appearance of unfallen people who have perfected their original nature and who will vanquish Satan and rule it with love.
Let's study Father's word.
Who is a deadly enemy? Now, we must know who the deadly enemy is. Who is that? The individual enemy whom you think you have to revenge, grinding your teeth with vexation, is nothing. Who is the deadly enemy? That is the very Satan, the devil and the evil who had destroyed this world where God was supposed to establish his great will of creation. He is our deadly enemy. He is the enemy of all the creatures and humankind as well. On the path of revenge, the humankind has been used as the contents of the fights. The fights have already started. The God of good is always fighting against the enemy, even when you are comfortably sleeping at night. The fights are ongoing, even day and night.
Yeah. Who is this deadly enemy? That is the very Satan, the devil and the evil who had destroyed this world where God was supposed to establish his great will of creation. He is our deadly enemy. He's the enemy of all creature and humankind as well. The very first thing we have to certainly learn from the divine principle is the existence of God, that God is the parent of all human beings. This is very important. Number one, okay? We need to recognize God's existence. And then the second is the fact of Satan's absolute existence. We should understand that Satan exists spiritually without our being able to see him. Everybody, many religions talking about God, and then no one knows the identity of the Satan. But our divine principle very clearly mentioned who is Satan, who is a substantial Satan. We are talking about the identity of the Satan. That's why our divine principle really great. That's why in order to win over the Satan, you need to know that first. You need to know that God's existence. Secondly, you need to know the existence of Satan. Satan definitely exists. This invisible Satan has evil spirit from the spirit world who are his object partners. And the object partners of this evil spirit are the physical bodies of a human being living on the earth. Therefore, in order for us to be restored as God's sons and daughters, we have to first of all fight to be victorious over the invisible Satan before the visible and real world. This is an important point. When you're sometimes directly dealing with that guy who committed sin or doing evil things, that is not the fundamental way to settle down. You need to know that who is in behind. Because Satan uses human beings as his tools, we have to make sure to not make bad condition in front of this invisible Satan, or rather than solving the problems that spring up in front of us. Nevertheless, in human relationship, fallen human beings are not able to solve fundamental problems that arise if they only address this problem externally. To address reality's problem, just a moment. Reality's problem, we must first fight and win the invisible Satan, knowing that Satan is controlling everything behind the scenes. That's why you need to see behind the scenes. This is important. Someone really persecute you, someone you hate you, you need to see who is in the behind the scene. You need to deal with someone behind the scene. Then you win over. When directly you're dealing with that guy, then should you fail, you should hate that guy. Actually, you need to know that who is in behind the scenes. There is a Korean proverb that says that if you know your enemy and know yourself, you will fight 100 times and win 100 times. Therefore, we must know well the invisible Satan's strategy so that we can win in reality and know the relationship behind the people who relate to us and give and receive. That's why how can I love my enemy? Very simple in some way. Actually, who hate you, who dislike you the most? Not that guy's a problem. Someone in behind there, behind scene. Do you know who is that? It's the Satan, evil ancestor. That's why you need to dealing with invisible Satan. Then, evil Satan about using that guy. Then you need to know who is the main cause. Then you can forgive your enemy. Without seeing invisible Satan directly want to deal with that guy, then you hate him, become your enemy. You cannot solve the problem. That's why always do not make any mistake. Satan can invade you. Do you understand what I mean? This is very important. That's why since I know this principle, anyone hate me and doesn't like me, that guy's a problem. Ancestor problem. That's why I need to forgive him. I need to still love him. That guy actually originally no problem. Who has a problem? Actually, someone in behind scenes. Wow, this Father's guidance is really amazing. Lucifer, Satan, corrupted our first human ancestors and made us his servants. Therefore, we must always resist Satan with hostility, Father said. Next.
The most dreadful one in the whole world. There is nothing more dreadful than Satan in this whole world. Even though how dreadful this time of error might be, anyway, the time passes by. However, there is one enemy who has never left humankind since the day of the human fall. That is the very Satan, the devil, and evil. When we live on earth and have an enemy, the enemy can be revenged during that era or even throughout the next generations. However, the Satan who had taken over God's position for 6,000 years could not be exalted by humankind, neither revenged, even at once. The greatest resentment of God is that he is not revenged to Satan. What is a big judgment? It's not to wipe out the people on earth, but to perish the deadly enemy, Satan. That is the big judgment. The big judgment is that we exterminate the Satan, who is the enemy of the history and this era, and who would be the enemy of our future.
Yeah. There's nothing more dreadful than Satan in this whole world, even though how dreadful this time of era might be. Anyway, the time passes by. However, there is one enemy who has never left humankind since the day of the human fall. That is very Satan, the devil and evil. Why the big judgment? It is not to wipe out the people on earth, but to perish a deadly enemy, Satan. This is the big judgment. The big judgment is that we, exterminate the Satan, who is the enemy of the history and this era, and who would be enemy of our future. My brothers and sisters, then how do we, exterminate Satan? There is only one way. Bring the enemy to surrender is only possible through true love, natural surrender. If God were able to bring Satan to surrender by force, already the game is over. He would already have brought Satan to surrender if God using his own power, own force. There is only one way to bring Satan to surrender. Is it bring him to natural surrender through true love? We need to know about this point. That's why God's providence always prolong and wait and wait and wait. Why? Need to using the strategy of natural surrender. Today's youth ministry, the truth we must realize. Let's study.
It is the age when each must take responsibility over their family. The age of attendance is each being of the four-position foundation in the family voluntarily saying, centered on 3 generations, let's create a family that is reborn and resurrected, centered on Hyojang. In this way, the family is the final destination that must bear the fruits of true love. However, our blessed families do not put this into practice. Even though we have been educated on this numerous times through true parents' words, we do not conclude this in our families. The age of believing in true parents has passed, so it is now the age when each family bears fruits as true parents' children. As true parents have said, the responsibility of parents as true parents is now over. They said that from now on, you must take responsibility of your own families. And they have taught us how to realize true families and showed us everything. Therefore, from now on, each family must bear fruits in their own family. Therefore, now, it has passed the age of giving a sermon to someone or listening to sermons from someone. We must each bear fruits in our family, centering on the Hunduk textbooks with true parents' words.
Yeah. I repeat and again and again and again, right? Today's age is the age when each blessed family attends God and true parents, their own parents, their own spouse, and their own children. Not just only attending God and true parents, you need to attend your own parents, your own husband and wife, and your own children. The age of attendance, each being of a four-position foundation in the family voluntarily saying, centered on 3 generations, let's create a family that is reborn and resurrected, centered on Hyojang. In this way, the family is the final destination that must bear the fruit of true love. The age of the believing in God and true parents has now passed. Now is the age when each family comes to attend worship and with a substantial result of the having attended God and true parents and family members. Therefore, from now on, each family must bear fruit in their own family. Therefore, now it has passed the age of the giving someone to someone and listening sermons from someone. We must each bear fruit in our family, centered on the Hunduk textbook with the true parents' word. So it is the age where Sunday worship is the time where we come to church and testify to and show each other how God has worked in our own families. This age of the believing in true parents has passed. And it is now the age of attendance. That's why you need to know that it is now the age when each family bear fruit as true parents of children. Amazing, really amazing time now, my brothers and sisters. That's why true parents talking about, when we are doing Sunday service, we need to put more about the testimony, not just only delivering sermon. How you met God in your family, through your spouse, through your family, through your husband and wife, and then your parents and children, how you met God in the family. That's why Sunday service time is really giving the testimony. God is really living God. And then this kind of testimony gathered together during Sunday service become very powerful Sunday. Become very, very powerful, heavenly temple. Because everybody do not know what's the right time. This kind of the era. How much beautiful now. That's why before you coming and joining Sunday service, you need to already have the testimony, incredible testimony. One week, how you lived with God. Within your family or your working place, and then giving the testimony. How much beautiful. Yeah, we need to know that our family is the what? Final destination. Next.
The reason, that's number 3.
Oh, sorry.
The truth we must realize. As we go on the course of the era of Chanokuk, do you know what the truth we must realize is? It is to inherit true parents' course, which they walked on while shedding blood, sweat, and tears. True parents said that even though we cannot shed blood, when we shed sweat and tears for God's will, we can be engrafted onto true parents heartistically. True Father also said that for us to engraft onto true parents' heart, as we read or listen to Hundak words, we must be able to wail, knowing God and true parents' heart behind those words. Every day, we wake up in the morning and recite the family pledge. We need to know that this family pledge is the final constitution and standard that summarizes what true parents have said and the course of life that they have been practicing.
Yes. As we go on the course of the era of the Chanilguk, the most important truths we must realize is to inherit the course of the victory that true parents have walked, centering on God's will until now, and to realize and experience a true parent's heart. In order to inherit true parents' heart, we must walk on the path of the blood, sweat, and tears, while which true parents walked on. The first law of the inheritance is to respect the other person. The second is to participate with that person. The third law is to go on the path of the even greater sacrifice than the other person. The fourth is to further grow and develop the achievement left by that person. This is very important. I am telling you. I'd like to remind you. Do not forget, okay? I want to repeat again. In order to inherit true parents' heart, we must walk on the path of the blood and sweat and tears which true parents walked on. Again here. The first law of inheritance is what? Is what? To respect the other person. Without respecting God and without respecting true parents, we cannot inherit. The first law, we need to respect our true parents. Secondly, is to participate with that person. That's why, through Heavenly Tribal Messiahship, we are participating and fulfilling our Heavenly Tribal Messiah mission. Then this is the way to inherit. That's why participation is very important as the co-creator. Without participating, okay, you go your own way, I go my own way, you cannot inherit. Participation is very important to inherit. First one, what? Respect. Second is what? Participation. Third one is what? Third law is to go on the path of even greater sacrifice than the other person. You should more sacrifice than through parents or father. Of course, we cannot do that. But at least your mindset should be like that. You want to be a greater than your own physical father and mother, then you need to put more effort, more sacrifice than your own father and mother. Then you are become better than your own parents, right? It's important about the law of inheritance. Last one is what? The first one, the last one is to further grow and develop the achievement left that person. Your result is smaller than your own father and mother. You surely fail. That's why those who are inherit, your result should be better than about those who are want to giving you. You need to more develop. You need to more grow up. You need to more multiply. Please, my brothers and sisters, need to remember what the law of inheritance or respect, participation, okay? More greater sacrifice, and then further grow and develop the achievement left by that person. True Father also said that for us to engraft onto true parents' heart, as we read or listen to the word, we must be able to weigh knowing God and true parents' heart behind those words. Next.
The reason we do not have tears. As said in the family pledge, we must become true families that communicate with heaven and become absolute couples and absolute parents centered on absolute love. The absolute here means the standard to becoming the incarnation of true love, only centering on God's heart and completely denying the being me and only centering on God's heart. As we go on the course of faith, why do we not have any tears? It is because we are still false. It is also because we are still practicing formal, conditional, external, and habitual faith. If I were really someone who possessed true love, there would not be a day without any tears. True Father knew the will and cried so much for God and humankind. But even as he aged, he was someone who always lived with tears, even just before he went to the spirit world. Father often said that he could not sleep because of the families he blessed.
Oh my God. Then what kind of the true parents' content do we have to inherit and put into practice? That is intensely stated in our family pledge. We need to know that this family pledge is the final constitution and standard that summarize what true parents have said and the life course that they have been practicing. We must become true families that communicate with heaven and become absolute couples and absolute parents centered on absolute love and realize the true family ideals. As we go on the course of the faith, the biggest problem is that in order to unite God and true parents' heart, we need a lot of tears. But truth is, we do not have any tears. Then why do we not have any tears? It is because we are still false and do not have a sincere heart. It is also because we are still practicing formal, conditional, external, and habitual faith. Father said that if I were really someone who possessed true love, there would not be a day without any tears. Wow, I really want to inherit Father's tears. He always cried, shedding tears for God, for the sake of all mankind, for the sake of the blessed family. Wow, he's the one who truly understands God's suffering. He's the one who truly understands God's worry about humankind. That's why anyone pass away, Father knows that their reality, they go away. Father knows that very well. That's why as a parent of all mankind, as the Messiah of all mankind, He knows God. He knows the principle. He knows the situation of the all mankind. That's why always shedding tears. I don't have that kind of tears. This is my lacking point. How about you? Of course, sometimes I read Father's Word, I cry and cry, but not often tears. Not like a father's letter, not like a true mother's letter. That means I'm still far away from God's heart. I'm still far away from true parents' standard. His father knew the will and cried so much for God and humankind, but even as he aged, he was someone who always lived with tears, even just before he went to the spiritual world. One who possesses God and true parents' heart must also possess tears. Wow. Somebody say, why tears? You need to be joyful. What? Yeah, of course, we have to be joyful, but you, at the same time, you need to know that God's reality. I'm talking about the God's reality. Someone say positive concept, joyful, thankful. Yeah, we need to do. But at the same time, we need to go back to the fundamental point. Who is God? What is God's reality? We need to understand God's reality. He's a parent of all mankind. He worries about me. He worries about you. He worries so many other people didn't know God yet. You know, how many people die miserably, accident, this and that, as the parents of all mankind? Can you imagine that? Wow. Oh my God. Our miserable God, sorrowful God. When we can liberate that kind of God, my brothers and sisters, the more our spirit grows and the more we experience God's heart, the more tears always accompany it. My brothers and sisters, please remember the reason we do not have tears. That's why we need to really be, how to say, sincere, really sincere, and then understand God's heart, God's sorrowful heart. Our final goal is how can we understand God's heart, experience God's heart. Once experience God's heart, you never go back to the Satan. Once you really experience God's heart, you never commit sin. Like a true father, true mother. Never ever commit sin. Because you really understand the heart of God. You really understand the reality of God. Why? Because we not yet experience God's sorrowful heart. This is our task, our final goal, my brothers and sisters, right? Experiencing God's heart. Today, I talk about the truth we must realize. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yong, for always helping us understand God's heart. That God is not always joyful, but really the sorrowful side of God, the reality of God's heart. And also teaching us the first law of inheritance is respect. We must really respect our true parents in order to inherit from them. And now for our living testimony for today, we have Yasuhiro Ishiyama from the Seattle Winter Workshop. It's actually a recording. He's going to be sharing his testimony. So please go ahead and share the video.
Good morning, Dr. Yong. Good morning, everyone. My name is Yasuhiro Ishiyama. I'm from Seattle, Washington. And today I wanted to share about the winter workshop that I had the privilege of directing this year called Camp True North. Here is a beautiful picture of everyone. It was the first winter workshop that we were able to host in 3 years, so everyone was super excited to come. We had a total of 21 participants and 23 staff members, including the core staff. And the age group was from middle school kids all the way up to college graduates. So we definitely had a lot of kids of different ages coming to participate this year. Here's a picture of all of our staff, which includes core staff, team leaders, kitchen staff. and amongst other responsibilities. As you can see, we're all young people, and it's super inspiring to see all these young people stepping up to become leaders in our community. We had people coming from different parts of Washington State, as well as from Vancouver, Canada, and we had one from Germany come as well. And this is the core staff. So on the left, top left, we have Katya Sergieva. She was our main logistics person. She helped a lot with communication with the workshop site people, with parents, with speakers, and she also did a lot of other things as well. In the middle, we have Paige Wiesinger. She was our main communication person with the Bellingham community, which is just north of Seattle, and also with the Vancouver, Canada community. And she helped assist Lisa Sergieva, who's on the right, with activities. And Lisa, on the top right, she was our main activities coordinator. And she also just made sure we had all the supplies and materials that we needed for all of our activities throughout the workshop. And I'm in the middle. I was in charge of more the internal aspect of the workshop. So that included picking different 100Ks each morning and figuring out what kind of content we wanted to share with all of our participants throughout the workshop. Something I'm really grateful for this core staff is how much communication went with each other. We were always on the same page. If there was a problem that came up, we would always communicate with one another and we'd be able to find a solution to it right away. And another thing I'm really appreciative of this group is how determined we all were to make Camp True North happen, especially after 3 years of not having it. We really wanted this, provide this workshop experience for all of our younger brothers and sisters, especially seeing how much Camp True North impacted all of us as we were growing up. And for this workshop in preparation, we did a 7-week long 4-minute prayer condition to help lay the foundation for the members and all the staff to have open hearts and to be receptive of God's unconditional love, God's personal love for each person. And this condition also allowed us to become even more unified as a team. And I feel that through this unity, God and spirit world could really work to create this awesome workshop. And I also wanted to give a special shout out to our Seattle youth pastor, who's Miyuki Brandstrom. She's right here in the top right. She was the one that actually pulled this core team together. And especially in the beginning, the 4 of us, we didn't know what we're doing. We've never planned a workshop before, but she guided us and gave us a lot of encouragement and support in how to run a workshop. So I really feel that without her, this workshop wouldn't have been able to happen. So a huge shout out to her, a lot of gratitude to you, Miyuki. So the theme for our workshop was Compass for My Life. We wanted to dive into, what is really the core of our faith. We often talk about why is it important to have a relationship with God? Why do we need true parents? What is the significance of the blessing and how does that relate to us? And as kids, sometimes it's difficult to recognize how these different concepts or teachings from the divine principle directly correlate with our day-to-day lives. So we wanted to help bridge that gap together and bringing these different concepts and providing different practical ways of incorporating these concepts or these teachings into our lives, or at least recognizing how they work in our lives. And so to help us do that, we had some amazing, iconic, legendary speakers, if I do say so myself. So on the top left, we have Aunt Sandra Lowen, and her husband came too, Uncle John Lowen. Top right, Irving Grandstrom. Bottom left, Tiffany LeBroy. And bottom right, we have Jeremy and Sunny Ryan. And yeah, all of the speakers were super impactful. There wasn't a single feedback form that I read from the participants that mentioned anything about the talks not being relatable or them being boring, but everyone was able to gain something out of it, which is super amazing. And one interesting thing, as Sunny was sharing her testimony in her talk, she mentioned how she was part of the core team back in 2016 that helped establish Camp True North. So it was her younger sister, Esther, and another sister, Alina, and Irving Grandstrom. They're part of the core team. And as she was sharing about this, I just got goosebumps because that core staff consisted of 1 brother and 3 sisters. And this year, we also had 1 brother, 3 sisters, 2 of which are biological sisters. So I felt like just listening to her, I realized that without our recognizing it, throughout the process, like God was already working through all of our lives to make this happen. And I feel like it was super crazy, super amazing to see just how God was working behind the scenes to continue on this Camp True North legacy. So super amazing. And I wanted to share some reflections. This first one comes from a participant. Something I learned about God is that He is always with you. If I feel happy, He will feel happy. If I feel sad, He will feel sad. God to me is someone that loves us and watches over us. I was able to experience God's love through all the talks and all my friends. Beautiful. And this next one comes from an 18-year-old. I honestly didn't understand people's sincere hearts and commitments to the church community and had lots of questions about our faith. However, this workshop allowed me to be a good example for my team, naturally practicing the divine principle teachings and our beliefs. This experience made me want to explore and figure out my own personal faith rather than simply being impressed by others. And I think that really touched on our theme of allowing people to recognize where they lie in their faith and figuring out the steps to work on their relationship with God or work on their relationship with true parents and the understanding of the divine principle. And this last reflection comes from one of our team leaders. My goal for the workshop was to support the emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being of the team, myself, and reconnect with God. I felt God's heart and love for us through the community and realized that it was always there. I just had to look for it. I think that was a beautiful encapsulation of our whole workshop. We definitely felt this sense of family and community with one another. And to wrap up this presentation, I wanted to share a cute little video that our media team created. So please enjoy.
I feel like new sunglasses, like a brand new pair of jeans. I feel like taking chances. I feel a lot like 17. I feel like windows roll down new city streets and cabs. I feel like anything can happen, laughing. You take me right back when we were kids. Never thought I'd feel like this. Like when I close my eyes and don't even care if anyone sees me dancing. Like I can fly and don't even think touching the ground. Like a heartbeat skip, like an open page, like a one-way trip on an aeroplane. It's the way that I feel when I'm with you. Brand new. Time will always try to make us. Time will always try to make us. You remind me what I used to know. Like when I close my eyes and don't even care if anyone sees me dancing. Like I can fly and don't even think touching the ground. Yeah. Like a heartbeat skip, like an open page, like a one-way trip on an aeroplane. It's the way that I feel when I'm with you. Brand new.
Yay! That was our video, super cute. I just want to thank everyone who made this workshop happen, all of our staff, all of our participants, and especially the parents for trusting us to make this happen. We hope that we can see everyone next year, and maybe some more people out of state can come too. Super exciting. Thank you so much, and I hope everyone has a
Wow,
great
yeah.
new year. Thank you.
Yasuhiro Ishiyama, well done. Thank you so much. Whenever I see our children's activities, so exciting. Really, really giving a lot of hope. So let's have often this kind of workshop in each church, in each region. Wow. Thank you so much, our beautiful children. They are really our promising future. 감사합니다. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yasuhiro, for sharing that beautiful testimony as well as the video. I love that all the staff, including the kitchen staff, are young people, which is really amazing because it means all of us, we really want to serve and really be there for true parents and the providence. So thank you so much. And now it's time for our reflection. So please let's go into our breakouts and we'll see you back in a few minutes. All right, welcome back, everyone. Thank you for taking this time to share. Now, for our first sharing, I'd like to invite Mr. Ronald Robotini. If you could please unmute and share your reflection for today.
Hello?
Okay.
Yes. I was really moved by the Dr. Yong part of his message where he spoke about going beyond what true parents have invested and having, even though it's not, we're not in the same position as true parents, but having the heart to want to go beyond what true parents have done and to inherit that. And true parents, to inherit from true parents. And also that we're now in the age of attendance in our family. We passed the age of just giving, receiving and giving sermons, but we are in the age of practicing what we've received in our family. And I'm grateful for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronald. Yeah, just now breakout session, I talked to the James, and James also reflect on that. Yeah, our second generation, third generation, our blessed children, not easy to really understand God and true parents, even divine principle. Then what the best way to introduce true parents and God? Through their own parents. Through their own parents' exemplary life. Wow, through seeing my father and mother, I can feel God does exist. I can feel Reverend Moon, Mrs. Moon, they are the Messiah. So without parents' exemplary life, teaching true parents, they never dealing with the true parents directly face to face. Not easy. That's why becoming a model family in our family, how important it is. Not to explain invisible God, not to explain true parents the Messiah. That's why now in the era of the attendance, when father and mother really attend God, attend true parents, how much they change their life, they can show the good example to their children. That's why family is really crucial, very important. If a family do not show, let them go to church and learn. I am telling you, impossible. Let them go to workshop, and it is just only temporary, just and exciting. You are living together with your children, continuously. That's why our family exemplary life is really, really crucial. Do you agree with me? This is really important. Okay, next.
Drew, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Robotini, for sharing your reflection for us this morning. And now for our next reflection, I'd like to invite Reverend Juanita Pierre-Louis, if you can share word this morning. Thank you.
Good morning.
Hello, hallelujah,
Oh,
Reverend Juanita.
Praise the Lord.
Yes.
Every day I wake up praising the Lord for one more day. But thank you all. Thank you all so much for these morning services. I'm getting people to listen to some of the old talks, and they really love it. They really love it. They want to meet you, Dr. Yong. I'm trying to get them.
Dr. Yong, not Yang. Yong.
Thank
you. Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Yong. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, your correct pronunciation. I'd love to hear that.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
But people are listening to the talks, and they are really getting something out of it too. But most of all, I'm just happy that I can see my son and daughters growing and really understanding some things that I didn't even know they understood. But it's good to see our young people just really give everything they got and not hold back. And I'm so happy for that. I'm elated to see the young people moving out and coming in and doing the things they need to do or want to do or can do. So I think that's a fulfillment of God's will, to see our young people doing the things that they not only do they do them out of us asking, but they do them because they want to. They want to do them and they have the feeling to do them. They don't have to be forced to do anything. They're doing it out of their own commitment and their own conviction. And I think that's very important, to do it out of your own commitment and own conviction. I think that's really important.
No,
Really
thank
important.
you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anita. How's Luis?
Oh, he's doing
I
great.
miss,
He's doing great.
miss
He's
him. Yeah, he's busy. He's busy now.
yeah, he's real busy. He's counseling
Okay.
people. He's counseling people and he's witnessing.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
Thank
doing
you.
great. Okay.
Please say hello to him. Thank you,
I will.
Juanita.
I will.
Okay, Luis
All
couple.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Reverend Juanita, for sharing your reflection. And yes, it is true, really seeing our young people, even the younger generation, even if I'm young, but younger than me, seeing them really being able to serve the providence and serve, true parents. And brothers and sisters, for our daily reminders, we like to remind you to invite a friend, invite a family member, anyone you can to our morning heart devotion. Everyone is really ready. The outside world is ready to receive God's love, God's truth. So please let us invite them to hear it from our Dr. Yong. And also we have transcripts on edu.familyfed.org. You can also find the Zoom link there. If you join in other platforms and you would like to join on Zoom, you can find the link on edu.familyfed.org. And if you can please joyfully give from your heart, we have the link in the chat. Please feel free to donate anything for our morning heart devotion. And if you want to offer a song, you want to offer a prayer, you can email tall@tzor@unification.org. And for our musical offering today, we have Chris Bihari. Bihari, if you could please share your song with us.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, Dr. Yong.
Hey, Bihari.
Hey, I wanted to have a video, but somehow my computer's having problems and I couldn't get it to Tal. But, and my guitar fingers aren't working so good today. So I'm just going to sing this song. This song written for Father's, as a poem for Father's 80th birthday. And it's in the book of Joy Makers by Jung Hyung Park. And
I see. Yeah, Jung Park.
And he gave the name to my daughter in 1992 when the book came out. True love is the warm sun of providence, melting the earth in the spring of resurrection. Let us greet the whole world with the hope of this new day. The image of God is the love of providence. True love is the abundant, sweet rain of grace, drenching the garden of hearts. Let us bring the full mercy of heaven to earth, the image of God is the love of providence. True love is the eternal reservoir of life, receiving the blessing as pure new family. Let us blossom to creative life of happiness and beauty. The image of God is the love of life. True love is the wing of peace for a new age, harmonizing in joyful reunion the five colors of mankind. Let us achieve the dream of the global village of one family. The image of God is the love of peace. The glory of God is the love of peace. The glory of God is true love.
Oh, Chris, I love your song of true love. Amazing. You are really offering this song, putting your sincerity, your all heart and energy. I really appreciate that. Thank you once again. 감사합니다, Chris 비하리.
Thank you so much, Uncle Chris, for that wonderful song. And I don't think you needed any kind of background music because your voice alone is beautiful. So thank you for sharing that with us. And now for our closing prayer, I'd like to invite Mr. Tadden, if you could please close us off in prayer.
Thank you so much. Let us close in prayer. Our loving Father, Mother in heaven, we are so grateful for the constant outpouring of heart and love that you bestow upon us. And all this time, you have been hoping to find those sons and daughters who can feel your heart and who can appreciate all the outpouring and investment that you have made, of course, your providence in our lives personally. And I pray that together as a movement, as blessed families, as sons and daughters of your heart, who are the fruit of your love, we will begin to take your love to the next level and no longer be satisfied by just having the experience of love with you directly in our prayer time, but really to experience the love that you have for us through the other, so that we can see your face in our brothers and sisters, in the families, in the people that you have prepared, that we can see you all around us, that we can see you in our being rather than in the abstractness of our minds. I pray that you will bless each one that participates on these morning devotion calls, and that you will bless all the efforts that are being made by all the generations, that we can truly open our hearts and be people driven by love, so that we can resemble you in heart. Your heart is such that you have this uncontrollable impulse to love. So I pray that we can come to resemble you by being people who are so in love, that who so want to share that love with you and share your love with one another, so that we can truly bring new life, new hope, and a new future. I pray that we can create a future that is markedly different than the past, by creating a future in which there is no more enemy, There are no more divisions. There are no more categories that divide us. Let us build this future, and this future can only be happy when we bring your love to life in each of our lives. So I pray that this can begin with me. This can begin with every person on the call, every family. Pray that we can multiply your love this year and truly usher in the kingdom of love, the age that we live in. We offer you our love and our gratitude. Essential families gathered here in this essential family of power. Amen.
Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Stoyan Tadin, for your really heartfelt prayer. Really, thank you so much. I think you miss now your granddaughter so much in Florida, right? I miss her too. I saw her, but she now disappeared. Anyway, thank you so much, Tadin, and I hope you need to really go down to the Florida to see your grandchildren. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Uncle Fern Chadden, for that sincere and wonderful prayer to close the morning devotion this morning. So, brothers and sisters, thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you tomorrow for another wonderful and incredible morning devotion. Bye-bye.
감사합니다. Thank you.